Signing on for today's lesson. And our quote for today is: Things are not always as they appear, seek to understand. So, how many times have you found yourself having some sort of disagreement with someone based on misinformation? Perhaps somebody said something to you, and you operated according to what they said. Maybe they said somebody so and so said such and such about you, or I heard this one talking about you, whatever. And they come and they tell you this information, and then you go and react or respond according to what they said. And this might be you going off on somebody, telling somebody off, that old saying, giving somebody a piece of your mind, all of those little things that we use. Well, oftentimes, if we would just take the time to go back and get some understanding about what we have heard, what we think we've heard, what we thought somebody said about us, it can save us some trouble. And one of the stories that comes to mind involves the children of a friend of mine. And this happened when her daughters were really young. And when she told me the story again years ago, because they're young adults now. But when this happened, they were little girls, like in elementary school. And she had gone to school to pick them up from school one day. And the oldest daughter got in the car and she was like, Mom, this girl called, and we'll just call her little sister Sissy. This girl called Sissy an N word. And her mom said, What? She said, Yeah, she called her the N word, and I heard her, and blah, blah, blah. And the older sister's like, she was like upset. And she's like going off. And so she's telling the mom this whole thing. And the mom is getting like hot. She's mad. She's like, I'm getting ready to go in here to this school, and I'm going to tell these people, about how these kids are talking to my daughter. I want that little girl brought in. I want her chastised. I want her to apologize to my daughter. She's going through all of this. So she and the oldest daughter are just going off in the car while they're waiting for their little sister to come and get in the car. So the little sister gets in the car and, she just bebops in the car and she's in a great mood, happy, all of that going on. So her mom asks her, how was her day? And she tells her, she had a great day and she played with her friends and she tells her about like how she did with her schoolwork and all of that. And so the mom looks at the older sister like, like she seems fine. And so the mom said, your sister told me about something that happened today with one of your friends. And the little sister says, like, what? And she said, she told me that one of your friends or one of the little girls called you the N word. And the little sister looks at her and she's real confused. And she's like, call me the N word. She said, nobody called me that. And so the big sister jumps in and she says, yes, she did. I heard her. She called you that while we were outside. And she's going on and on. And she says, no, nobody called me that. And the little sister, she said, well, who was it? So the big sister began to describe to the little sister who the little girl was. And the little sister knows. She's like, oh, that's so and so. She didn't call me the N word. And the big sister says, yes, she did. I heard you. And she says, no, she asked me if I had a nickel. And the mom and the big sister look at each other and crack up. And the mom is thinking, like, I was about to go in here and go off on the administration, call that little girl in, pretty much confront her, accuse her of something that she didn't do, all because of a misunderstanding. Things are not always what they appear. Seek to understand. And how many times have we done that? I know there have been instances when I've done it. Somebody said something or did something, or I thought I heard something, and you kind of react and respond. But I've learned through the years to go back and say, you know what, I'm sorry. What did you just say? Or, did I hear you correctly? Or, can you help me get some clarity on? And just go back and seek to get some understanding, because it can really make a lot of difference in your relationships. Don't assume, and y'all know that, but again, I don't use profanity, but that old quote about what happens when we assume, what we make of ourselves, and what we sometimes make of others as well. So anytime you find yourself having a reaction to something that someone said or did, make sure you got the right of it. Make sure that you've not misunderstood, because again, things are not always as they appear. We need to seek to understand, okay? it'll save you a lot of trouble along the way. So that's our lesson for today. And if somebody asks you for a nickel, just, that's what you're hearing. They're asking you for a nickel. They're not calling you out your name. Alrighty? So that's our lesson for today. Hashtag life lessons, hashtag listen and learn, hashtag words of wisdom. Signing off.